means everything.
I mean, the easy groups were hard to predict as well, so I cannot blame you. It's been a wild day of League of Legends, and North America's final hope, Cloud9, will battle for either their slot or a chance to fight for it again. Aime, though, all of a sudden find themselves in a wonderful position for them. Do or die. They came out clutch to get here. Can they do it again into quarters? We'll find out as we are into Champion Select. Olaf, Caitlyn banned by IM. Nidalee banned away from C9. And what's to follow? It will be Varus away from Athena, who's back in mid lane after his early stint in the jungle. Syndra banned pretty predictably there by Aime.
Yeah, the Syndra ban makes a lot of sense. Of course, the Caitlyn and Olaf are just strong champions in their own right that C9 do like to play. The Varus stands out to me a little bit. Like, you don't have to get rid of that champion. There are many other things that you might want to remove, given that Olaf and Alistar are off the board, and you're not actually on that first pick position. Perhaps there was a jungler, but maybe there you go. There's the other one that I was going to say.
Makes sense now that Elisa's been banned.
You know what was so interesting is in that SKT game, SKT actually banned Aurelion Sol against Athena, and he's not the one who played it was baeme. And that's just showing how much SKT did not want to get cheesed by anything. It's like, oh, does Athena play it as well? Whereas C9, they're willing to take risks like that.
They're identical twins, like Athena and baeme. They may be both subs and interchangeable like that, but they are the exact same person. They just, I think it's a mental fortitude reason that they actually swap.
Well, there's Kennen first pick for Aime. But like you said, Athena and baeme, so much overlap that you have to think Aurelion Sol would be on the table. It's been a little hit or miss, mostly hit, but it's your final game at Worlds potentially. For either of these teams, do you want to risk it as Jhin, RekSai are the picks there for Cloud9?
It's the beautiful thing about the way Aime actually drafted Best of series and why they may be better to watch if they make it through to the quarterfinals is Game 1, Aurelion Sol wins the game. Game 2, they swap mid laners and you go into draft and you're like, do I ban Aurelion Sol? Who actually knows what to do?
Yeah, it actually trips you up a lot, but we'll see if he brings it out here. The Kennen first pick, we haven't seen that champion highly prioritized in first pick on red side at all this tournament, and that's mostly because Impact in that top lane, what does he like to play? The Gnar, the Kennen. Kennen will counter the Gnar, so they take that away so early on because that's how much they actually want AmazingJ to be comfortable, have him leading the team, leading the charge and the engage, versus somebody like Impact, who has been playing well, but he hasn't been able to have those same types of advantages like he did in NA.
A decent amount of this as well, with lots of junglers banned out. Meteos on the rec side, very comfy. Jhin the same for Sneaky. But Skarner will be locked in here for Avoidless. Sivir actually the other one, so pretty good setup so far with what Aime's got. They got Malzahar potentially if they want to take that as well for a bit of additional lockdown, or they can speed everybody else in. Karma is still available, don't forget. Well, Ben Jensen's already locked in Alistar for Smoothie, so they're going back to the playmaker here. They'll lock in Rumble for Impact as well. And Aime's, the skeleton of this draft looks very scary.
Yeah, what we've got right now is stock standard from Cloud9. Also, the Alistar RekSai front lines can go in and engage, and you put down the red carpet with the Rumble, Jhin locks somebody down if they're knocked up, and that's the thing about this combo, is Alistar and RekSai knock you up. They don't just stun you. You are locked on a Rumble ult and a Jin's combo, and that, as a four-man unit, is basically teamfight winning as it stands.
Yeah, and they actually just saved their last pick for Jensen. He has had a very rough tournament. This group has not been good to him, and he hasn't been able to have the same types of advantages in that mid lane.
I mean, Jensen, such a great player domestically, has shown up time every now and then on the international stage, but he's going to get last pick here. And it's not the first time Jensen will have a lot of weight on his shoulders moving into a must-win game effectively for C9. But of course, Aime, they're in that same position. They didn't take Aurelion Sol when they got the option to, and Aime will actually brush by it. Athena goes to his very stable, safe Viktor, and there's Maokai.
This is a support Kennen. It's actually a Kennen flex pick here. It's either support Kennen or it's a support Maokai. And I'd put more money on the fact that it's going to be a support Kennen for Road.
Have you watched that much LPL? Let me tell you. Support Maokai's run around before.
Yeah, they will be support Skarner. Honestly, we don't actually know when it comes to Aime. They're an unpredictable team. It should be the Maokai top whoever and Kennen support.
Don't forget, they also did a roll once already today. Maybe they're feeling creative if they are, maybe there's strength elsewhere, but C9 have to look over and be like, okay, I kind of know what your comp does. What is the, where it's going, maybe it doesn't matter right now. I just have to figure out how to beat it, and what's Jensen's last pick here?
And I have to actually just come back to Aime's team composition and the reasoning perhaps as to why they go for a Kennen support. I think it's actually quite clever that Alistar wants to headbutt away the carry top lane Kennen, but he's just going to be a peel Kennen.
So much pressure again. Jensen, what does he go to here? C9 are running out of time to make this pick. They will lock in the Ryze. Jensen's going to take it onto the Rift one more time.
And he looks rather stressed about this. This was a matchup that he did not win against Faker. And then on the opposite side, he played the Viktor, and he wasn't able to snowball. He wasn't able to get the Viktor off the ground versus the Ryze, and it was pretty much Maple running over his entire team with the damage from that carry in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing for him to do, of course. Ryze needing to combo spells before any shields are appearing, and you have to choose the right combos if you want to out-trade. Athena gets a shield just by doing damage and can actually usually win trades in the laning phase. Also can manipulate minions well enough, and this is a pretty favorable thing for Athena in my opinion.
The other interesting thing is, it is support Kennen, because Road is going to take that one in. But as a result with the Maokai pick, AmazingJ picked himself into a worse matchup. Like, Kennen vs Rumble is kind of Rumble, I think, maybe slightly favored. Maokai Rumble is actually awful for Maokai.
Yeah, but the bottom lane, the Kennen, the double ranged matchup, that's a lot of damage, a lot of CC you have to respect at level 6, or else you get completely obliterated.
Well, throughout Worlds, we were following the hashtag Worlds Big Plays to check in on the moments and memories that stick out on your minds above the rest. So keep that one going. Get your team hashtags in there as well. For AMA, it is win or you are out. Hashtag I win for Cloud9. And the last hope of North America, hashtag C9 win. I know which side the crowd is on. A warm up.
A little bit on it.
We'll see what happens to Jensen's Ryze, perhaps. But we are packed here in the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, and it's a crucial game, the second last one, perhaps, of the day.
There they are.
They found a chant they like better than go C9.
All right, C9 coming out onto the Rift. It is a stock standard team composition you'd expect from these guys. Team fighting prowess, a bit of assassination. Perhaps you can get really good flanks out of the Ryze ultimate. Not necessarily just the Ryze being in there, but you can tactically insert the RekSai or the Alistar to knock people up in the back lines. It's got a lot of creativity behind what is a basic composition.
You do have to be very careful, though. There is a lot of CC on IMA's side and a lot of zone control as well. Viktor and Kennen will both control areas, and they have a lot of engage. So if IMA start getting ahead, they could run over this composition from Cloud9 and get to them a lot easier.
And I love it here in IMA's do-or-die game. You've got something different. They managed to flex the Kennen into the support spot. C9, they know they do have to win this game to see where they can go and maybe have to play Flash Wolves again. But I think they've built a much more comfortable comp for them. Impacts on a matchup he'll be very happy with. Even in Kennen vs Rumble, I think he was happy. Meteos on a signature pick. Sneaky and Smoothie going to be happy with these. And Rhodes actually face checking here. It's around the point. C9 will pick up that one outside the Drake.
And of course, the Dominion minigame before Summoner's Rift actually explodes out.
Level 1 action, guaranteed with Skarner.
Extra gold, 15.
That is also true, and if you're poking people down, there's an abundance of gold to be seen. As junglers start, they will be on the exact same side of the map. We do have to highlight if they skip camps. The only one that should do that is Meteos, and that's if he's looking to control the bottom side of the map and perhaps get a gank off from somewhere unexpected and early. Skarner, he just farms. He just tries to get 6 as fast as possible, maybe get one gank off in between, and just utilize his kit at 6 instead.
Yeah, and he just actually starts at the blue buff. And that's been a common start here for IMA. They don't want their buffs stolen or actually cheesed in any way, shape, or form.
I thought from Impact is like, I could use this on you. As both AmazingJ and Impact visit each other there. But instead decided to take a couple of minions down. Road playing up very aggressively though on this cannon. You can see how tricky it is for Smoothie in particular on the melee support. That's not really known for its laning prowess to stick 2v2.
Yeah, rings true with Bard as well into the Alistar matchups. The melee champion that's level 2 reliant struggles with Impact.
Doesn't follow in, but
good matchup.
Huge damage. Yeah, like I said, this is a very old one, but this is one I know. It's good for Rumble, especially early on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why they decided to go for the Maokai. Even Nautilus, if you're going to go the tank route, could have arguably been better into this matchup. They're choosing to completely sack top lane. You probably won't even see Skarner working towards there after his clears. Very curious.
Drake's angry. He just gets out from it though. Does take the Scuttle Crab and will spot that ward as well. Be able to sweep that out from under Avoidless. We often see RekSai for Meteos, particularly because Jensen does like the early blues, but he's actually gone back for his tiers, so we'll see if he runs back to try and collect it. Looks like Meteos on the Gromp. As locked down, Smoothie follows in. Sneaky gets exhausted though on the other end, and Jinjao just steps up to trade with him.
Yeah, quite good to get the exhaust out there, because Smoothie has that ignite, so the next all-in could be a possible kill onto Road if they want it.
Yeah, forcing that exhaust is a big deal. Of course, Sneaky on one of his most comfortable champions. I'd say the OG Jhin player.
Yeah, We've seen a couple Ezreal games from Sneaky today, and he's certainly a good Ezreal, but it's not quite like his Jhin and his Ashley's picks that he's really been known for.
Yeah, he's actually had himself forced onto that Ezreal a lot this tournament. I believe he's played it 3 times now.
Oh, Jensen, not again. He's been here so many times, but doesn't have to burn the summon or Avoidless. Bit of a weak gank there, just kind of visiting mid lane.
Spits at him and stares angrily as he goes away.
Ooh,
down.
doesn't work. Sneaky gonna wall in. The Ignite is down. Sneaky, few more autos, and there's first blood. Cloud9 take it on Sneaky.
And Cloud9 with the first blood on to Sneaky on the signature champion in the game to keep them alive.
You couldn't ask for more, honestly, if you're a Cloud9 fan at this stage in the game. RekSai doing his work, Impact winning his lane, and the 2v2, the wildcard Kennen pick, doesn't work as planned because Smoothie and Sneaky do work.
As soon as Avoidless shows in mid, they start planning this, they start moving up. You can't actually spell shield the combo there. As Sivir, you have to flash away immediately, and he doesn't respect that. So the combo comes through, the Ignite comes down, and there's no exhaust to actually counter.
And a huge CS discrepancy building in that lane already, 32-18. As Sneaky comes back with a PF sword first.
To a cull. So it's the cull from Jinjao. He's just going to be sitting on that item. And Jensen with the blue.
And you can see he's starting to get aggressive. Did get that early blue from Meteos by the looks of things, playing up into Athena's face. Avoidless is here, but he's going to stop this down. And Jensen's going to face check the Skarner.
This is crazy.
His pink ward. He's in. Looking for a 1v2. Royd's even coming up as well. Jensen playing with swag.
He's definitely giving it his best go here, Jensen, to get redemption from his previous Ryze game. It was an underperformance, and he's got a statement to make. But better now than before, honestly, because it matters.
He wants it in again. Gravity field's there. Jensen going to keep going in. Might even commit. Misses that next cube. But the last one not going to quite hit. So close to an all-in kill.
Damage is done, though. He's got Athena out of the lane now. No pots left.
And there's suddenly Avoidless and Road just hanging out in this middle lane. Really weird timing. Of course, Smoothie was trying to match the rotation. The thing is, because there's 2 mid, easy way to invade now for C9.
Wow, and Athena backs. He does have 1,100 gold, and he actually picks up another Doran's and boots, as well as some wards. So he doesn't end up going for an upgrade for himself at all.
Little short there. And
yeah, a little short.
Keep this pressure up. He's going to go back now. He's got the tier refillable. We'll see what he collects. Impact also not quite going for his first back, but AmazingJ did actually TP back to that lane as well, and is down CS, so that will catch up as the wave crashes into that turret. So every lane is winning right now for C9. The jungle farm is even. This is how they would have wanted to start this game, and this is cute from Impact. Gonna ulti down. Maybe not the angle he wants. Clips a couple minions.
Yeah, you have to say a slight mistake there, honestly, from Impact. Still has control of the wave. It's now going to crash, however, into AmazingJ's turret. No jungler nearby, so just being a pain in the bum.
Well, gonna deny what he can here, clean out the waves, and then eventually go back. AmazingJ actually hits the recall button briefly, but doesn't finish that one off. Sneaky gonna take out this pink ward in the tri-bush. You can see how unwilling Aime are to even contest, because Smoothie's been roaming for a little while. He's now teaming up with Meteos, actually. Gonna take this point down and see if they can't get some vision or some buffs down in this side of the jungle.
You do have to be careful, though, if you're Cloud9, because Road, he's been in the lane by himself solo. He went to mid and got more experience. So his level 6 is actually quite a bit sooner than you would think on this Kennen. So he has the option of actually forcing an engage here.
Well, speaking of forcing an engage, here we go. Jinjao gonna get knocked up again. Smoothie crushes it and gets himself a kill.
That's the second time. Jinjao, he's not respecting the Alistar. He's not blowing his flash. He has died twice with it still up, and C9 are exploiting that.
At the very least, it was a flash combo this time, so harder to get yourself out of, but still really well executed from Cloud9. This is the bouncing castle that you'll see from them every single time that they gank. The thing is, there is absolutely vision there, seeing them come in. Flash now. It was the same time as Sneaky's W, and Jinjao might have lived, but the Sivir is so far behind. It's already 2 levels on the AD carries alone. Wow, they're making it worse.
If they give it to only Sneaky, Meteos actually going to dip on it too, so. All right.
He's taxed a couple lanes in his time, so we'll split the gold there with good mate Sneaky. Jensen continuing to pressure this lane up as well. Athena with the blue, but really just playing back in his lane.
So Avoidless just took that top crystal, and immediately they start pinging onto the red that they know that he's on that top side, and the red is up for Aime. So now they've been able to track down Avoidless, and they know that his red is up for the taking. If they can chunk him out.
Yeah. No blue? They're just going to posture around. A little tricky situation. But Smoothie once in again. Looks for Avoidless. There's a knockup. That's going to force a flash out. Gravity Field finds two, but Jensen still scot-free. Good W from Sneaky, but now Athena's going to get chased. He burns both subs as he pops the ghost, and now Rogue's been caught by the stun. Flashes out of the way, but he's still going to go down. Jensen gets C9's third kill of the game.
It maybe flashes out of the way, but it's not towards safety, unfortunately. It's still towards Cloud9. Mistakes aside, that's very proactive and good movements from this team, collapsing with the Jhin and the Alistar in the middle lane.
And Smoothie already having a much better game on this Alistar. Before he was getting caught out having to blow the ultimate. Now he's in charge of the roams. He is ahead of the curve. And Cloud9 take the entirety of this bottom side jungle. And that will force Skarner to the top side jungle. They know exactly where this jungler is. And Cloud9 now have tabs and they have that gold lead.
And again, just look at these lanes, even in the jungle, even in mid. But top and bottom have just gone pear-shaped for Aime. 80 CS to 55 with Impact constantly pressuring AmazingJ, and Sneaky is insanely far ahead. 20 CS up in that bottom lane, looking for that pretty aggressive build as well with the Caulfield's Warhammer already finished. And
this is a big
Jinjao
flank, actually.
struggling.
Road was in a position he didn't want to be in. Boots of mobility. Smoothie was sitting at red buff waiting for him. But of course, Kennen can get to safety with a lightning rush. I'm surprised, honestly, that Cloud9 is still on the bottom side of the map. It means they really want to keep Jinjao and Road down for longer. There is such a big difference between these AD carries.
Oh yeah, Sneaky's already up 1,400 gold. And he's going for the crit build right now as opposed to the armor penetration build because there's a Maokai and a Skarner on the enemy team that will eventually build tanky. It's a little bit more efficient to go for a build that has that critical strike on it.
Bit of insurance perhaps as well as they move towards the mid and late stages of the game, but it's been an excellent start for Cloud9 in this early game. They're up 3,500 gold already. Is Impact and AmazingJ gonna do battle again? No junglers in sight, but AmazingJ with some good damage equalized it down as Impact. He's about to overheat. He might have to flash here as AmazingJ is gonna keep going for it, but Impact holds on to his summoners, just burns the ultimate.
Gunner's coming up.
Oh no, bad news bears, good flash, but it's into the turret. They're gonna follow in and Impact, he's overheated. Avoidless gonna chase him down, he impales him, and AmazingJ gives him the smash for the kill.
And they always leave him out to dry, but look at this, mid lane.
Playing out in mid lane, Athena locked up, the crit's good, Smoothie gonna wrap it all around, misses the pole, headbutts him anyway, snipe in there from Sneaky, and Jensen gets a second.
And that's the trade. Cloud9 makes something happen on the opposite side of the map. Still, be careful here.
Meteos are gonna jump in on him, right, so squishy, and will fall, needs a couple more as Meteos dives in aggressive, but will not fall. Jensen now on a killing spree.
Lucky to be alive, Meteos, but Cloud9, honestly, as a team, are looking entirely reinvigorated. No response from Aime. We know they have weak lanes, but this is getting definitely out of hand very quickly.
And this up top, as soon as you see the jungler there, you get to make a play on the bottom side. The bottom side of the map is completely Cloud9's with all of those pink wards. So Impact, he's doing what he did back in the NALCS early on. Draw people to you. You are actually drawing attention. You get the Drake on the bottom side. This is your answer, and they get so much for it from Cloud9. If you give up one kill for this, definitely worth it.
I mean, again, they already had the Drake before doing this exact play. It's predictable, and Athena's disrespecting it. Yes, it was a good play on the top side of the map from Aime to try and effectively trade for the Drake because they reacted, but you have to respect an Alistar's dive mid lane.
I actually don't know if that was a mess up there from Smoothie or not, but I think he was just pulverizing there to cover a flash towards the turret, possibly, and then got the headbutt in.
Worked out certainly for C9. More than enough lockdown. In the bottom lane especially, Impact has a couple of visitors to his top lane. Looks to be safe for now, and I may decide that not really too much they can get done here. Cloud9 did good damage to that mid outer as well, as you can see. Athena going to protect it for a little while longer. It's just the one turret and the 5 kills for Cloud9. They do have a big gold lead early on. Aime will see if they can stem the bleeding, or if Cloud9 can keep up this very crisp early game, which is, like you mentioned, Zirene, what we saw from them kind of all through the back end of the NALCS and the regional qualifiers.
Yeah, and a lot of that was Impact. He doesn't get much attention from Meteos, but if he's able to dodge ganks, or they're able to get much more from the ganks that he suffers.
Happening again.
Yeah, it certainly is. Smoothie in, flash out, but Paul locked into the snare. Jensen gonna lock him up, but the ulti from Athena might be enough. Sneaky lands the last ball up perfectly, but Smoothie might go down in response. He will as Road gonna burn the ultimate down, but Impact's TP'd in this time. Lays down the equalizer. AmazingJ locked down. Sneaky grabs a double for his troubles.
Again, just really strong from Cloud9. Their team composition excels near the middle lane. This is starting to feel a little bit like deja vu, honestly, and I may keep falling for the same bait.
Can they break the mid, though? That's the question. Enough pressure here as the minion wave rides in. Sneaky going to burn those bullets down, and Cloud9 will open up a big section of the map as they take down the mid outer turret. Not easy to do versus Viktor.
And this is so good from Cloud9. They're using Sneaky outside of the lane phase. He has 100% kill participation on this Jhin. It has been banned against him so much in this tournament and all throughout today because that is the fear. Comboing it with the Ryze, easy. Point and click, the W is guaranteed to land, and then the shots afterwards. Picks up the kill there, and then the ultimate from Impact to follow. Does route them a little bit. Maybe it could have been a little better, but it's still enough to pick up AmazingJ from the top lane. And Cloud9 once again get a better trade.
Yeah, and this can continue to happen. So the bottom lane turret is gone. The middle lane turret is basically broken. Top lane is the easy transition now to make. If you are Cloud9, it's predictable, so AME can respond. But I don't know if they can actually stop it.
We can see Road doing what he can, but Sneaky with a blue and the Essence Reaver now completed. Going to be moving into likely that first Zeal item as he does have that Brawler's Glove already done. CNN already actually positioning for the dive. They've got Jensen's ultimate here. They're going to clear out this vision, and I think, have to leave here.
Yeah, they're waiting on Smoothie's ultimate, which is up in 5 seconds here. If they were going to make a dive, they would wait for that cooldown and have him go first. So have him walk around, get control of the area before you try to make a play like that.
Yeah, I understand that, but it still feels like AME were not respecting enough of Cloud9's dive potential. Alistar being level 6, RekSai also reasonably tanky having finished his Cinderhog. The map's theirs for the taking.
Yeah, and you can see they're just lugging and just throwing their gold advantage around the map right now. So Cloud9 can pretty much go anywhere that they want, grouped up as 5, and just answer objectives.
And it's quite a gold lead as well. They'll take that top outer. And they're 6,000 gold ahead already at
15 minutes.
AmazingJ, we've got a lot of work to do. He's going to knock down this turret, and Impact should rejoin that bottom lane shortly. So AME, everything has gone wrong in the early game once again. Cloud9 have looked very clean.
And AME, a team made up of, honestly, some rejects, some people who were subs before, go down to the LSPL, make the LPL, make it to Worlds, and this is the game for them to make it to quarters, and they are already off to a bad start. AME, well, they've overcome odds time and time again. Right now, it's looking pretty grim.
That was rude.
I feel like that exact moment summarizes this game. The red buff smited away by Meteos, as Avoidless is doing it. Skarner is a big champion that I'd have to challenge. I don't think it does enough early for AME's lack of, as he's pretty caught.
I mean, he flashed. He did get tagged by the last bullet. Sneaky firing into the fog. Doesn't find anything else. Will burn both sums once again to stay alive this time, so that's good news at least. But Cloud9 now on the offensive once more, pushing down mid.
Exactly what they need. Push down mid, get the mid laner off to the left side, get Infernal Drake, which is up in 10 seconds here. And that's been the plan for Cloud9. Take control of this bottom side jungle. And Smoothie planting a trap alongside Meteos, but they're just going to bail off of it because Impact doesn't have his teleport, and he's still shoving up top.
They're just so large, so Cloud9 can do it on spawn if they'd like, or they can sit back and force AME to come towards them and fight, because there's the biggest Ryze in the world.
Yeah, exactly. They're just kind of waiting for Impact to get here, though. And now that he's in range...
Road caught, maybe AmazingJ in the back line, and Jensen already on a rampage, takes one out. Great ultimate, actually, is Sneaky. Gonna get himself shut down, equalizer in, but it's not quite enough, and Jensen trying to kite back. Smoothie caught again, is gonna fall to Jinjao. Cloud9, it's suddenly all gone wrong as they're kiting back to that mid-outer. Very nice setup from IM.
One man on one mission to try and carry his entire team right now is AmazingJ. The Maokai is big, but that was honestly just the only thing they have to offer. The damage is lacking, but they're doing the Drake.
And immediately AME said, get on the physical damage dealer, kill him, because AmazingJ, has not actually prioritized any armor just yet. He's all magic resistance. You get that physical damage dealer off the field, then the rest of the fight plays out like that, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of AME, and they end up getting the Drake on top of it.
Yeah, not a very efficient Kennen ultimate, I will say, from Road. Gets locked down by the Ryze here, so doesn't get to do a whole lot. But this is all the AmazingJ show, because he flashes and gets immediately onto Sneaky, unlocks Jinjao and Athena, who are over the ledge. So in terms of positioning, that's actually not an ideal fight.
Oh, in fact, touching one here with Meteos, sorry, is AmazingJ.
Overheat.
Gonna get burnt down, the damage is good. Smoothie here in backup as well, but Athena enough to deter any potential dive. Cloud9 still trying to make plays here, but it's a big loss as far as objectives go. Infernal Drake's not really the one you want. And the only one they got next is their namesake again. Cloud Drake number 2 is the one after, so they kind of missed their window for that one.
Oh, you would absolutely love to have a Cloud Drake on your side as a Jhin, It's one of the most effective Drakes to have. He makes the most use of it. But on the flip side, though, Viktor is probably the second best mid laner to actually make use of it, right behind Veigar in terms of scaling AP.
Yeah, there's actually, when you look at the team composition that AME put together, they're still content with being behind because the Viktor will always do his part. He'll always just have the Hex Tech. He can wave clear efficiently. Sivir can do the exact same thing, just press her R button. And the Maokai being large means they have a front line. That's kind of the most important thing about AME is having that front line there.
Good trade from Cloud9. It did feel like the cleanliness of the first 50 minutes was falling around a bit, but they do take tier 2 bottom lane as Jinjao manages to get the top outer. So positive trade there. AME do break open a portion of the map, which is nice because they were turretless before that little take. And remember that Jensen and Sneaky, particularly with the builds that Sneaky is favoring here, will grow stronger and stronger. AME, of course, perfectly good team fighting comp, will be more than happy to bring this one late, as almost always. But Cloud9 still keeping themselves ahead in this game. Gold lead did drop a bit, only 5k up now for Cloud9.
Yeah, and Sneaky and the rest of Cloud9 have to keep thinking about what's going to happen mid-game when AmazingJ flash, roots Sneaky. You might have to QSS immediately and flash away, but that you can only do that so often. And Athena, he has so much damage to blow up an AD carry on that Viktor. That's what you have to worry about, because it's just point and click from there.
Yeah, the thing is, if Sneaky just has perhaps Meteos to get him out from the Alistar, or QSS himself, just survive, he can always be a part of the fights by using his ultimate, using his W, locking everyone down. Jensen's the real threat at the moment. 4-0-2, he is a monstrous carry.
We talked about Jensen being in a high pressure situation on the world's stage. He's had a great early game. Pretty much did it all himself there, 1v1 in a matchup he already lost today. We'll see how he gets it done here. Rodovade has been stacking up for a while, building up towards that Seraph as well.
He's already got a QSS just for the Skarner to make sure. There's also some other CC there that he has to worry about, but this is actually how they've been getting their picks.
Oh, Smoothie's riding for it. Meteos wants it as well. Great equalizer there's going to poke him in as Roy's almost dead. He actually will go down to impact his Cloud9 trying to take out this turret. Smoothie will be the sacrifice. It certainly was. 4v4 now as they're still trying to take the turret.
The idea's there. I just don't know if they went in expecting AME to be somewhere else, but they're already ready to get around and rally the troops. And it does go as a 1-for-1 between supports. Nothing actually lost or gained realistically, and Cloud9 still have control of the map. That's the most important thing. But that reckless abandon with which they just dove should not happen again.
Red buff steal successful though. No ultimates for either side. Cloud9 actually trying to book it. His Road's off to respawn. Only 21 minutes into the game. Death time is still nice and short. Cloud9 were on not their side of the map, so they'll retreat back to their half. Fire things up. Jensen actually does have the Archandles built up now as well, so starting to stack towards that second major item.
Yep, and a QSS comes out for Sneaky to make sure that he doesn't get impaled by a Avoidless. In that last engage, you actually saw Jensen use the Realm Warp in, and immediately Avoidless was on top of him, ultied him, boom, QSS comes out from Jensen to help complete the kill. So these QSSs are going to shut down that Skarner quite a bit.
Necessary as well, because these are precious carries that Cloud9 do want to stick with as long as they can in the team fight. Impact in the meantime though, split pushing in the top side, should have push advantage at least versus that Maokai, although Magic Resist starting to build up and does have TP advantage as well. So we'll see if Cloud9 can kind of get that macro back into gear like we did see in the latter half of the regional run.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. It's time to reset the map for them. So set up for the Drake, have Impact be on the top side of the map or somewhere nearby. If he wants to save teleport, he can group up as 5 and force IMA to be there. Note that AmazingJ does not have one of his own. So I'm surprised that Impact is walking this direction. He should just go top. They should be slow, calm, set up for the Drake, and just play Cloud9 stuff.
Yeah, it's a 1-3-1 here from Cloud9 with the teleport and the Realm Warp from Jensen. Not rank 2 just yet, so the range is quite short on it, but it's still enough to give them the confidence to push forward and give them some pushing lanes so that they can get that Cloud Drake with almost no contest here.
This is what Cloud9 was sort of missing earlier in the day, it felt like. Despite when they could get advantages, they are strong players, but they kind of struggled to convert. This is a much bigger lead for them, and they are playing a lot cleaner, but they have to be worried that if it's not enough, I'm able to do what they always do. Play catch up and then win that coin flip team fight.
Yeah, they don't want to take that team fight if you're Cloud9. It's still that coin flip like you talked about. So what they've been doing is they have been setting up with Sneaky on the Jhin. They have been having him use his ultimate for catches, and that's why he still has 100% kill participation, because it's that pick.
Oh, Meteos with a good pincer actually. Impact also equalizes down. Avoidless dead almost instantly.
100% right there. 1-3-1. Look where Maokai is. Look where Sivir is. And then the pick comes out from Sneaky and the rest of the C9 squad.
Oh, that's
Smoothie,
going as good coverage from the gravity field. Oh, hello, Realm Warp in. Road's gonna get taken down. Jensen now dominating. He's caught Athena as well, looking for the chase. Speeds himself forward. He lands in. Needs to lock him down with the Rune Prism, but the Q's in there.
It's just barely out of range.
Needs to speed himself
There you
up.
go.
Rune Prism's in. Athena gonna pop the ulti down. Flashes over the wall. Jensen follows in. Godlike as he takes another victim.
Jensen is huge right now. Cloud9 working around that vision, as we said, playing it slow, setting themselves up. So easy to execute with their team composition.
And that may have been a little risky, though, because they have to kill this Baron quickly. They had to chase that Viktor all the way across the map to where the Cloud Drake was. That will give time for Skarner to possibly get here. He's very speedy when he's on top of his crystals.
Sitting on a lot of gold as well, so
They're
have to
coming
be
in.
careful. AmazingJ gonna line it up, avoid this. They have to keep him out. They do, and the smite's good there, but the damage could be enough. Sneaky and Jensen cutting out AmazingJ. Impact trying to keep them out as Rhodes back as well. Sneaky getting low. AmazingJ coming in there, but Sneaky does take him out. Flashes out to safety, and now Rhodes in trouble as Jinjao cleans up Impact finally on the front line. Avoidless gonna get locked up here as well, and here comes Sneaky. There's another kill. Smoothie this time with it, and Jinjao barely gets away.
The only remaining member is going to be Jinjao. Of course, Athena just respawning, but Cloud9 are putting in overtime at the moment. The damage coming out of their carries, the fact that there are so many carries available, and they're doing this without Impact even being the primary carry.
Exactly, that's big. Impact, you know, he's on that rumble, but it's still, they're picking. They're playing this like a pick composition with the Alistar and the Jhin. They play the 1-3-1, and immediately they capitalize on that. And this just ends up being that long run down after the Realm Warp to get everybody in onto road. Another pick, and he goes, whoa! Wasn't quite expecting that. The root comes out from the Ryze, and I don't know how Sneaky actually survived in the Baron pit because he was so low. He had AmazingJ on him, and he had his team kind of helping him out, but it was almost a lost fight in the pit. It was very close.
Well, Jensen goes pretty crazy, and that's the look of a man that knows he must win this game to make quarterfinals. Do not forget what is on the line here for baeme, but Cloud9, they're approaching 10,000 gold ahead. They just took their second Cloud Drake of the game, and lo and behold, in a Cloud9 game, the next one is also gonna be Cloud.
Gotta go fast.
And like you said, I mean, it actually does help big composition.
It's big for the pick composition. The Alistar, you want him as fast as possible. Moby boots, get more on him. Movement speed is never a bad thing when you're the cow.
Or Ryze. Or melee champion.
Yeah?
Yeah, Ryze is another big one. If you have Ghost, things like that as an example. There is still a lot of availability for Cloud9 here, honestly. Playing towards the bottom side of the map, the clear strategy. First need to set up vision. After they set up this vision, they look towards structures. I actually think what they're doing now is the better idea of the two. Keep Jensen bottom. He can use that Realm Warp and get around, but look towards perhaps diving or threatening the dive with Smoothie. Try and push them off the objective.
You can see the damage now. C9 with Baron empowered minions plus Sneaky's damage, able to completely zone them off that tier 2 mid and take it down. It's 5-1 still in turrets, and Cloud9 have just under a minute to play with as far as this buff goes.
And this is crazy. Jensen on the bottom side hits rank 2 of his ultimate. He's going to push by himself. He is 3 levels higher than anybody else on baeme. I guess now 14 for AmazingJ, but he's 3 levels up over Athena. He has been at
Victor again, huge combo from Smoothie. Athena eating damage in the back, but good ult there from Rose and Athena, but Equalizer comes down. Avoidless will take down Meteos. Cloud9 went a little too far for that play.
And it just happens again. Cloud9 just play slow, play carefully. Jensen's hitting the bottom lane turret. You don't have to dive that aggressively, and they weren't even doing it in unison. It's so unfortunate, but the control is still there.
Well, they're even hitting this turret. This turret is getting chunked out and chipped down, and now they're going to walk back up. There's a risk TP from behind. AmazingJ is trying to make a play.
C9, no, they have
Do or
to book
die.
it. Smoothie kicks him out, but Sneaky's been exhausted. Impact gonna move their way in. Sneaky still gets locked down by Skarner. Jinjao gonna claim the kill. Jensen rejoins his team, but Cloud9 lost 2 unnecessary people there.
And I can't stress this enough. The best
Jensen.
part, he needs to be careful here, of AmazingJ his teleports are immaculate. You always have to respect that, and this is the play that got them here happening again.
Not going to bust open mid, though. That sucks for baeme. Would have loved to open up the map a bit. AmazingJ commits the summoner, does not get full value out of it, and Jensen, who got very aggressive towards the back end of their exit, going to run back mid and keep that pushing down. Baron buff has dropped off Cloud9, though, but I am still not down there. Base up for now. No, they want a chance at quarterfinals, and it is just that, don't forget, just a chance.
Yeah, and if you're a Cloud9 fan, if they win this game,
You're now a big SKT
you're now an
fan.
SKT fan, and you need SKT to do what they've never done before and beat Flash Wolves.
Oh, that's fine. Jinjao pops his ulti, runs away.
That was actually a really good spell shield from Jinjao. He blocked the W, so there was no prison to keep him there. Jensen absolutely would have destroyed him. So gets out with his life, thankfully, or that would most likely have just been the base broken.
You can see just how much power this Ryze has. In fact, both the C9 carries and Impact as well has got 3 items just casually. Really ramping up towards the 4th items for the most part. Sneaky's about to have that IE ready to go. And
Oh, you're out.
Yep, trying to make a play onto AmazingJ.
Oh, what are you doing there? Oh, hello, that's all good. Blocks him down, still does Sneaky, but I think that's going to get him out. They will commit the ultimate for it. Jhin firing shots into the back of the tree. Meteos and Smoothie here, and Impact's able to cut them off as well. Jensen does have ulti if he needs to do it, but Cloud9 decide it's just not worth it.
That's actually tragic. He was definitely in a position to die, but Smoothie headbutts him out to safety.
And simultaneously, when that happens topside, Jensen has to blow his flash in the middle of the lane because he starts getting chased down by the rest of baeme. They were trying to make a counterplay. You can see the Kennen ultimate's down as Road tried to get in on him.
Oh, good little play there from baeme. Always a team that fights to the bitter end, and that's what it will be here in this game, as we've seen time and time again on their road to Worlds. Avoidless clearing out what he can as far as vision goes. We've got a Drake and a Baron up in about 1:05. One of those may be worth a little more than the other.
Yeah, I think the Baron's going to be where they look towards. However, 3 Cloud Drakes is quite important if you think about what baeme's decision-making has to be. They need to respect both equally, which means if they are dispersing their vision in the wrong way, there could be a lot of trouble for them to get into these objectives, and C9 can actually outright do them.
Warped in for a Grump and managed to take the blue buff out of it as well. Jinjao is bottom lane, but he does not have that much time to push this out.
Exactly, but it's a Sivir, so he's going to push it out so quickly. He may even get the turret. He's got 45 seconds. So he's just going to have it crash into the turret and try to bounce back.
Impact going to waddle down. Does have teleport ready. AmazingJ committed his earlier for the flank. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted, so Impact will have the side lane advantage once again. We've seen Jensen consistently push down the side waves as well, so things looking good to get back into that 1-3-1, either find a pick or take a major objective. Cloud9, they know how close they are to maybe finishing off this game, but they do have to finish it.
Yeah, that's right. You can't just sit here and hang out. You do need to close eventually. However, with a lead this large, absolutely their game to lose. I would be shocked to see baeme come back. But you know they've done this before. We said that's how they got here.
They have the tools to do so. If you get a proper engage, Athena, he's almost at level 16, and he would have enough damage once he completes Lich Bane to blow up Sneaky. And we talk about how Jensen has so much of the team's CS. He's level 17, he's 2 levels up over Athena. Sneaky is still level 14, and Jinjao is actually higher than him because he's been getting split wave farm on the off lanes.
Let's just say that if baeme come back in this game, it's basically Cloud9 versus Flash Wolves 2.0, where the shoe's on the other foot.
Oh, Cloud9 certainly remember that game. Do not want to have that happen to them, as Death Cap's now completed for Jensen. In case he thought he couldn't get any stronger. Athena's Lich Bane will be a good timing for the side, but C9 have all the power. 3 items for Sneaky, 4 items for Jensen, and a QSS for both of them, with Impact having an extra blasting wand as well. If there's ever a time to take the Baron and close out the game, it's now.
Yeah, Jensen does not get much stronger than this, considering he has a QSS in his inventory. He is full build, save for Mercurial, so they have to fight now.
AmazingJ going in, but trying to keep them out. Rowe with a decent ulti is Sneaky, zoning him away, but he's going to get attacked here by Jinjao as Avoidless looks to zone him out as well. Cloud9 have to be careful.
Not there.
Sneaky completely zoned as Impact's taking damage. Pops his on, he's in a Smoothie, goes down. Cloud9, bit of a mistake under the Baron, but Jensen going to go back in for it. Gets one now, Legendary as he's cutting back and forth. AmazingJ, not one as well as Meteos dives in to try and keep them out of it. And the carriers have seen that. much damage! But Athena goes in there, the face check after the spell shield's gonna keep Jinjao alive. What a mess!
Meteos had a perfect knockup in that fight to turn it around. They gave him enough time to actually get something back. Otherwise, that was an Aime fight, and that's why we're still talking like Aime have a chance in this, because they very much do.
Really hard to believe they do, however, it's proving to be true. Every single time you get this team in a team fight, they show up massive. And to consider that this kicks off by AmazingJ using his root on Smoothie, and a tank being altered by Road. It's just that Sneaky's completely out of position, has to walk the long way, and his ultimate was burnt early. So he actually has nothing besides W's to provide to this fight. And Athena and Jinjao just go berserk.
And this right here from Meteos, the flash knockup onto 3, so they can't return damage as they pump damage into AmazingJ to get him off, and then reposition, because now the rest of Aime have to back up. And then the last crit, last shot with the Q to pick up Athena.
Well, we reset once again around the Baron area, but Cloud9 gonna have to take it a little more carefully than that. We always see how strong Aime can be when they get to their preferred late game. Unfortunately for them, their early games at Worlds have not been too spectacular, so they have had to lean on that chaotic, unpredictable, teamwork-centric style. It may be enough here, as Cloud9 still have a monumental lead, but they have to be thinking to themselves, is there a way we can lose this game? Jensen's going to solo out the Cloud Drake, so that'll reset for the Elder Dragon. And like I said before, Triple Cloud, real nice for this team. Be nice to see them win with not just the mascot, but with the favorite NA Drake as well.
That's right, they're going to be moving very fast, and they can engage with flanks extremely effectively now. Ryze, as if he doesn't need more move speed, will have the maximum. And Cloud9 starting to fall short on the line in this do-or-die game. Aime still in with a chance.
Oh, they caught Athena.
Oh, that's good
This is
news.
perfect.
Sneaky does get the snipe. In fact, the equalizer burn is enough for it in the end. Athena, I mean, you can't really blame him. That's just rough.
Well, with a tank in the top lane like AmazingJ on the Maokai, Athena is a large source of their damage.
Road now, maybe gets stunned up again. Smoothie is caught him. Jensen's gonna melt him. Impact gets that kill. Cloud9 5v3 around the pit now.
Yeah, this is going to take nothing short of a miracle from Avoidless and AmazingJ, but the headbutt can keep them away from this.
That's rather early as well on that cooldown from Smoothie, and Smoothie has to continue to zone.
Just gone.
Jensen's like zoning him himself with a bit of help from Alistar. Cloud9 claim the Baron buff, and they are one push away, perhaps. They're moving on.
Well, this gigantic wave in the top lane, so they're going to get this top tier 2. Try to catch anybody who actually rotates in a bad manner.
Yeah, it's a case of here's one
It's
earlier.
set up by himself.
There's also the Realm Warp, I believe, just to scare him as if things couldn't get worse. Brings in Meteos. It's just that simple. That's the team composition. But back to the game. This is getting pretty bad for Aime.
Yeah, Aime maybe finally going to lose an inhibitor turret here, although Jensen getting chunked. Athena's respawn, and he does do a substantial amount of damage.
The crazy thing is the gold difference might be 11,000, but Sivir still has big items, still has a lot of farm. Athena still working towards his big power spikes. All C9 need to do is kill the carries, and they should be able to win the game. Easier said than done from what we've seen.
Certainly so, as Avoidless knows that with Baron off the table, it is Elder Dragon area that he's going to look to. Buff's not spawning for a couple minutes. Cloud9 going to play with a big amount of the Baron buff still. See if they can't shove out and break one of these sections. They've been successfully 1-3-1ing a lot of this game. Jensen seems to be sticking with the team a little more now, but Impact still has that option in the bottom lane starting that push off. So Cloud9 just needs something to break, and then they can win Aime. All they have to do is hold on.
And Cloud9, they revisit this turret that was chunked out so low from before. Back before Meteos got caught underneath the turret, I believe.
Hannah's going to do it, maybe. Needs one more. No, that does go down.
Sneaky wants it too.
You can't go that far forward.
He wanted it.
Oh, he does? He takes the risk.
Rapid fire cannon helps out a lot there. So Cloud9 breaking the base against a team composition that's hard to break the base against. It's a Sivir Viktor. Their wave clear is ridiculous.
You also have to respect the fact that AmazingJ has his teleport.
That in him.
These plays are all very risky.
Jensen just took it himself, actually. Aime decide not to defend it. Instead, they'll see if they can't fend off Cloud9 in that bottom lane. So they might just run in, take that for themselves instead. Baron's still going for a while. They've got over a minute, almost a minute and a half left on it.
It's starting to get really dire for Aime. It's going to take one more engage, but with Smoothie on that flank, it's getting from bad to worse.
They kind of got to go. Avoidless gets himself headbutted, and you can see that damage. Meteos caught in the front line, but Impact going to keep them out with the equalizer. Rogue with a decent ult, but the Cloud9 carries kited out. Meteos' GA will pop a sneaky. Going to set it all up. Jinjao getting low as Jensen just putting the damage in. And Jensen almost snipes Athena. Almost gets the one shot with the W. But Jensen lurching forward under the turret as Cloud9 break again.
He's got Realm Warp. I don't know if he'll use it. He's not going to chase. So they're just going to pick up the turret. They're going to pick up the second inhibitor and go towards his minion wave mid.
And Jensen is being a hero for Cloud9 at the moment.
He has to be. That's the thing. It's such high pressure for this team. For Jensen, a player that is so good, but has just never quite had the string of performances to show it. It would mean so much for this player to push his team to this win and see if they can't make it through to quarters, but watch this one again.
Oh, great ultimate there from Impact, because now Road can't go off to the right side of the fight and get in there. He's sectioned off on the top, and he gets destroyed by Jensen. And then the open up there from Sneaky. Athena has to flash away, and Jensen continues to try and run the team down.
You have to look at the limited options that I may have consistently had. The tanks are the only things AmazingJ can go on, and that just means free reign for Sneaky and for Jensen to take everybody down.
And those are two carries that do pretty insane amounts of damage when left unchecked. C9 looking to close this game out. They've got two waves of supers in mid and bot. They don't have Baron buff, but they will have Elder Dragon available if they want it in just about a minute. And they've got one last turret here to try and take down before the Nexus is the only thing standing in their way from picking up a win. And like we said, a possibility of a quarterfinal spot. Nothing is locked, but C9, all they can do is take this game.
I mean, eventually the minions will push in that bottom wave. The mid lane's going to do the exact same thing. They just need to try and break this top lane. Unfortunately, not having the Baron buff means it's really difficult to do against a Viktor or a Sivir, and when both are together, it's nigh on impossible. So the patient game is where they go now. Try and bring somebody to the bottom lane like Athena is at the moment. Maybe they have to dive for this one.
Just one of those things where you cannot afford to make a single mistake, and Cloud9, despite the lead they still have, despite how much trouble and ruin Cloud9's base is in, not coordinated for it. Smoothie trying again to flank up, but the wave's already dead.
And that was the one big wave you'd say they have as an opportunity. So Cloud9 immediately changed their strategy. Timings do work well.
Off the Elder Dragon we go. Do Aime sneak in for a fight? Maybe a steal? Not a whole lot they can do. Cloud9 should tread through this pretty quickly.
And then they're going to be super, super fast. Not just super fast.
Oh man, I can't wait for this Alistar to start running around.
Yeah, that's actually going to be ridiculous.
And they can't contest this. There's too much blank vision for them. And
all
that's
right.
Cloud9 with the Elder.
Cloud9, everything that pretty much could go right in this game has gone right. Maybe you wish the Dragon spawns were a little more favorable, but it's everything now to try and end this game. All they have to do is knock down the Nexus.
Yep. And North America, I mean, they've been biting their nails all week long, waiting, seeing if any of their teams can make the quarterfinals.
This is really risky from Cloud9. Yes, they have the Elder Dragon buff and they're setting themselves up to try and push towards the end of the game, but nobody's gone top where the wave has been pushed out. So it can't happen just yet. They have to bide their time, let the minions crash, and within the next minute, they'll definitely try and make that play.
Exactly, and having three members right here on Cloud9, Sneaky so far forward, is a little bit risky, but he's super fast.
That's true, everyone's really speedy. Smoothie maybe even lining up for a big flank. He's actually going to commit the ultimate. They're just going to poke them off here, I think. Try and maybe chunk down Athena or Road. Not bad. They are getting damage into the turret. And now Meteos going to get jumped on. He's tanky though. He's going to actually dive into the fight. Road going to pop it all up, but Meteos going to go down. Jinjao takes him down as Smoothie now has to get out of the base. Jensen got chunked already as well. This might be a little too much, but they're fighting it out. Athena a little too far forward. Athena going to force some flashes. Impact goes down as well. Jensen almost dies as well to the Viktor. And it's just the carries left.
And it just keeps happening for Cloud9. They have such a big lead. They have the Elder Dragon and everything that they could possibly want to try and end the game. But at the wrong time, they commit to the fights. They get engaged on without minions available. And without fail, AMA are winning every single fight.
And you don't need to dive this turret. Meteos' position here immediately jumped on, pulled back. He doesn't have that QSS. I think he does actually now. Had it picked up for himself because of that instance.
Yeah, and again, the rest of this fight is now secured for Aime because the tanks are gone. The carries just have to run away. And Aime are doing a desperation Baron.
Might be too much here. Iron were defending before, but Jensen, look at him. He's
trying to
take some people out, but Athena going to put down the gravity field. Baron's going to go over. Skarner does smite it. Now Jensen's forced to flash. He has to play miraculously. He's trying to turn it around. Sneaky doing what he can. Gets a shutdown, but Jensen dies as well.
But that's the Baron going to Aime. Clearing waves is so much easier for this blue side team. That's a big mistake from Cloud9, and that has come back to hurt them in a bad way.
And we're seeing 6 items now onto Jinjao. This gold difference is meaning less and less as time goes on, and Cloud9 couldn't close the game with Elder Drake. They messed up. Meteos then sells his Giant's Belt for a QSS to limit Skarner's options even more. 4 members now have that item on them, but it might have been 1 kill too late.
So I don't have to be thinking, not like this. This is not the way they wanted the game to go. I may have to be thinking, are we really going to do this again?
You have to think of the mentality that actually affects Cloud9 here, because every single fight they try and take, they lose. Makes it really hard to want to take the next consecutive fight because it affects your mentality so poorly.
They're 0-2 on the day. It's been a tough day for Cloud9 and North American fans. Has to weigh on the minds of these young players. Pressure is so immense and indescribable in these situations. And Aime, the longer this game extends, the more confidence they're going to get. And that's pretty much how they got here.
And this is the first time in about 10 minutes we've seen them in the middle of the map effectively, able to push out waves. This is the one time where at 43 minutes in, death timers are incredibly long. If Aime actually find a fight in the middle, they can take everything.
It's true. Only 1 turret to 8. Cloud9 having to deal with these Baroned up minions though. Pretty decent damage. It's pretty much everyone stacked in. Zirene, you mentioned already, the gold, just ignore it at this point. It's all about execution from this stage of the game, and it seems like Aime has been on top of that so far. Cloud9, they're going to have to dig very deep to find a win here.
They're trying to manipulate waves, impacting the top side, trying to push out. And you can see everybody from Aime in the middle of the map trying to force down this middle turret and get their second turret of the game.
Just want a bit more space to play with. Big wave bottom lane though. Might get Aime in a different turret. Again, just getting damage here with the Baroned up minions. Cloud9, have they found a way in? A good chunk there onto AmazingJ. Impact, pretty decent tank shredding as far as that build goes. And Aime, after that poke alone, reset the map.
Yeah, they just go back to base, perhaps to buy some items. They aren't being allowed to recall, but to me it's more about resetting the map by through the top wave that they have to bounce back going towards Cloud9's base.
Impact also here to deal with this. Tower's
About
going
to
to
die.
fall. As Aime do open up a bit of space for themselves. Impact a little too late, but the gold part is irrelevant. Maybe the space matters here.
The stress on these players right now on Cloud9's side. You think about what they have to go through on this stage, 0-2 on the day. They need that mental fortitude, but there are voices on this team where this is their first Worlds. Smoothie, he's a large part of the communication closing out this game. With that Worlds rookie on your squad, it becomes harder and harder as the nerves become more and more of a factor. Jensen, he hasn't made quarterfinals ever, but they do have a very seasoned person in Sneaky, and he's the one who's been making those picks to get them back into the game and way ahead.
See what cool voices can prevail here for Cloud9, or Aime going to turn the trick again. C9 back to pushing down. There are 2 open inhibitors and 1 very fragile looking turret in the top lane for them to attack here. Elder Dragon not back up for a little while. Remember, it's a 10-minute spawn after you take the first one, so very rare to see multiples in one game. We may get the honor of seeing that. I believe we have already this Worlds. Cloud9 just trying to find a way in safely, and that's the key word, because the Aime carries, much like Cloud9's, do pretty nuts amounts of damage.
Same strategy with that as FKT without the discipline is the only unfortunate thing that we're noting here. They want to break their way in, no turrets to actually stop them in mid and in the bottom lane. They could actually just chip away at these slowly, but they don't have control of the minion waves. And actually, if a minion wave is with them, Jinjao will hurt C9's members more than just killing the wave.
Ooh, ulti actually popped. They're looking for Jensen, but he gets himself out safely. Sneaky will get the mid inhibitor, so a bit more pressure. In AmazingJ takes a bit of poke from Sneaky, but no harpoon connection there for Impact.
It's good for C9. They got the middle inhibitor down. They're no worse for wear off of it. And now it's back to almost where they were. They just need to get that bottom inhibitor turret down, or bottom inhibitor down again.
And we're at a full build Viktor who doesn't have a Void Staff. against an abundance of magic resistance across the board from Cloud9. Really surprising.
I mean, at this point, he has to think, I got one job.
Kill Sneaky.
Kill Sneaky or Jensen.
Kill the Sneaky.
Exactly.
Cloud9 are resetting the map here. Impact's actually trimming top lane. Sneaky gonna get red buff, and they're kind of all at it again. I mean, these inventories are getting chock full. We've got multiple Mercurius Scimitars, including one on a Ryze. We may even have more, as Rumble and RekSai could look to finish those off as well. Cloud9 have had everything go right for the first 25-30 minutes of the game, but it's been tough to close this one out. We've seen teams on the world stage struggle, even with big leads, to close it out, and games can turn around quickly. At this point, I said it already, it is about execution. Cloud9 have played long games this tournament already. They're going to have to really show up mentally if they can close this one out.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can understand their strategy of putting Jensen perhaps bottom lane, look towards a 1-3-1. More comfortable for them than team fighting seems to be at this stage. I don't know if they actually want to group. They've got a safe 3 as well in that 1-3-1. RekSai, Alistar, Jhin, pretty hard to actually get to them due to the range of the carry, but they'll be protected.
You always have to be conscious, though, of the Sivir. And if you get engaged on, and Cloud9 are the ones who are pushing forward, Road has a Zhonya's Hourglass now. Like, this Kennen does actually hurt a decent amount, and he's going to be hard to remove from the map. So the guy they put back on the roster, even though they won the previous game earlier against Flash Wolves, still trust in him.
The thing that really gets me now is that Cloud9 aren't playing with a strategy to execute on. They're just playing League of Legends. Like, it feels like they've stopped looking at what our win conditions are, playing to our win conditions. They're just saying, what's next, Baron? Let's go to Baron. What's next? Yep. I guess we go bottom. Let's not actually, like, continue these win conditions. They haven't actually tried a 1-3-1 as effectively as they could have, perhaps.
Yeah, they're looking for unforced errors right now. They're waiting for baeme to mess up. And the longer they wait, the more chances they give baeme to get back in the game.
And that's the thing, like, you talk about unforced errors, that's a great thing to talk about here at this stage, because that really is what will decide this game, or one of the things that could. On a long timeline, eventually someone slips up, but it could be either team.
Yeah, and Baron on the table. Jensen making his way towards it. They're trying to burn it down. It's already happened.
I mean, it should go down. baeme not really in the area, and they've got lots of damage. Smoothie going to keep Avoidless out. Pole headbutts him out of the way, taking damage, but they will claim the Baron. Equalizes there onto 2 carries. Smoothie taking damage. Roy Kennen. Jensen unleashes Impact, diving into Smoothie, kicks out Roy. Great pull there as well onto the carries, but Athena finally gets one. Jensen is forced to flash away, but Sneaky is ripping through people. AmazingJ's dead as well. Cloud9 find the advantage in the fight for once.
Meteos trying to look for another. There's the Realm Orb.
Warping onto Athena. That's going to block up. Sneaky destroys him as he gets himself a double, but Jinjao's going to turn it around. These carries are so fragile.
There is still enough there with Meteos being a tank. This should actually be a lot of time and enough time for Cloud9.
And you also have to look at the fact that Jinjao and Road both have summoners available. Meteos, he might be able to flash knock up on top of that, but this is definitely the top turret going down.
Crowd is behind them. Cloud9 will finally take this top side. There's been really a pain in their backside for most of this game. Are they going to go for the push? Do they just take the bottom in? What's the play?
Until they respawn. They should be pushing.
Now they can blow him up. He's forced to flash. Roy almost gets his first crit on Meteos. Makes the big play, gets the double knockup. He's still chasing them down.
They're not interested. They want the turret.
They're trying to end it. Sneaky shoots down the turrets. They have to watch for the Sivir. And Sivir, I think he can do it. C9, search forward onto the Nexus Road. He's going to be caught down. The Cloud9, they will have a shot. They take down the Nexus.
Cloud9, 51 minutes is how long it takes them to get that done, but it doesn't matter how long in the end, because they actually did it.
And a sigh of relief from Cloud9 as the stadium erupts.
Jensen collapsed in his chair when that game finally finished. What a well-fought game.
North America is still alive in the tournament.
You can hear just how happy the crowd are about it. They'll shake hands with their opponents, and the local fans will be happy, but they will not be happy until our day is over. Because they have a shot, but that's all it is, just a shot.
But Cloud9 can actually have a good conscience about this, because Flash Wolves, sure, if Flash Wolves lose, they immediately go to quarters. If Flash Wolves win, they are still in charge of their own destiny and play a tiebreaker. So it's not all on SKT. and they can defend at the end of the day if it comes down to that.
But that was stressful, to say the least. Cloud9 have just played 3 games, 2 losses, and one of the hardest fought victories that you've seen on Summoner's Rift. To play another game after that could be quite daunting for this side.
And I have to say, Sneaky, he's actually had the most consecutive worlds out of any player here, 4 in a row for himself, and that man has nerves of steel.
Certainly did show up on a signature pick there. Important to remember, of course, that unfortunately for aime, it is the end of their tournament. There is always 2 sides to every story, and aime's run, despite almost a miracle win that would have pushed them into quarters, no questions asked, it does end here in another long aime game.
I don't know about you guys, but I could feel it actually happening all over again. aime with the late game 1 teleport victory, but Cloud9 stayed strong, they showed resilience, and they waited for those Barons and ultimately got themselves the victory.
Yeah, and it's happened for aime before, but it wasn't today where it happened. And they won't be joining the other 2 LPL teams in the quarterfinals. But aime, nobody expected them to make it even that far, to beat the Flash Wolves, to put up that much of a fight in the late game and give these teams a run for their money. aime deserve a lot of respect because a lot of people said they don't belong here. They proved that they are a world-class team.
Dangerous things happen when people say teams do have a look at the World Championship. Samsung Galaxy are going to take that one all the way home. Cloud9 though still with a chance, but we are going to kick it off to Shox for an interview with Cloud9's jungler Meteos.